the fourth big week of the Omer, Parashat Emor, here in New York City. And we know that Parashat Emor, we didn't include all the holidays. And the idea of all the holidays is a way to connect to the Creator. How do you connect to the Creator? By doing the holiday. We know that Passover is the right column and Sukkot is left column, and in the middle is Shavuot. We're going to study it today. But first, I would like to start with Zohar Emor. We're going to go pasuk by pasuk, verse by verse, to take it to the next level. ויאמר השם אל משה, הנפש לא יטמא בעמיו. Last week Parsha, it was Kedoshim. We study about keeping yourself holy by keeping the mind in the right place. Here it's talking about Kohanim, the priest. Not priest like in a church. That's a name that was given in English. Kohen was the right column energy of the Israelite or of the Jewish people. That's what Kohen was. So you cannot call him priest because he might mislead you. Remember Hashem el Moshe. The nefesh lo yitama ba'amav. They're not allowed to be impure themselves. אמר רבי יוסי, say רבי יוסי, מהו הטעם? What's the reason? שנגד כזו כדבר, ואיש לא אישה כי יהיה בהם אוב או ידונים מות יומתו. What's the connection that it's written, ish or isha, man and a woman, if they will use black magic or they will use power to bring the dead back, they should be dead. Why it have to be next to the word Kohanim? What's the connection between the Kohanim and that? הוא משיב שכיוון שהזהיר את ישראל שקדשו עצמם בכל, הזהיר גם לכהנים שקדשו עצמם. Because God told the Israelites in Parashat Kedoshim to purify themselves in being holy, that's why he said now also for the Kohanim and also to the Levites. מאין לנו לכהנים, how do we know he spoke to the Kohanim? כי כתוב אמור אל הכהנים, say to the Kohanim, not talk, say. מאין לנו ללווים, how do you know he talked to the Levites? כי כתוב ואל הלוויים תדבר, as it written, and also to the Levites you should talk. Say and talk are different. Say is more zeir anpin, talking is malchut. Say is more soft, talking more harsh. ואמרת עליהם, כדי שמצאו כולם צדיקים, קדושים וטהורים. So everybody will be found righteous, holy, and pure. Righteous, holy, and pure. And I'm sure some of us asking ourselves, what's the difference between righteous, holy, and pure? Righteous is people who justify whatever happened to them. The negative thing happened to them, they justify it. They find what's great about it. Holy is a person reached such a high level that there's no difference between up and down. And pure is a person go to mikveh, if it's a man or woman, go to mikveh, study more spirituality, and meditate that through spirituality, everything will be will go to a purification. שואל, מהו הטעם שכתוב כאן בני אהרון? Why does it say the children of Aaron? I mean, we know that the Kohanim, the first Kohen was Aaron, and his children must be a Kohanim. We know it from God. וכי אני יודע שבני אהרון, I don't know they are the children. הוא משיב אליו, בני אהרון מלמדנו ולא בני לוי. He want to emphasize, God want to emphasize to Moses, not everybody who comes from the tribe of the Levites can be a Kohen. Only the children of Aaron. Of course, the question raised is, why? מלמדנו ולא בני לוי. כי אהרון הוא התחלה לכל כהני העולם. אהרון is the beginning for all priesthood, Kohanim of the world. Again, I'm not talking about priests like Catholic priests or church kind of or some level of priest. We only talk about Kohen. And Kohen, it is a Jewish Kohen from the family of Aaron only, who serve in a temple or the tabernacle. That's what Kohen is. So when you find a Jewish person by the name of Kohen, not necessarily the Kohanim. Sometimes they just like the name. So Kohen has to have almost like a certificate that is 2,000 years ago when the temple was destroyed, it belonged to the family of Kohanim. I met 2 or 3 in my life with this type of people from 2,000 years ago. Most of the Kohanim ran away after the temple being destroyed to Tunisia, to North Africa. And from Tunisia they went to Libya, they went to Morocco, they went to Portugal, so that's the area. כדי לעשות שלום בעולם. So why did God choose only the children of Aaron to be the Kohen? After all, what is the main job of the Kohen? To bless the world. On Yom Kippur, the high priest, the high Kohen, there's one big Kohen, what we call a high priest. They're doing Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the day that we pray for the world. It's going to the holy place called Holy of Holies. Today we don't have it because the temple is destroyed. Right now there's a mosque on it. And Jewish and Palestinian fight who it belong to and who's belong to, which is becoming a political campaign, which I'm really not interested to get into it. Who's right, who's wrong. I'm just telling you that spot, that place used to be where the Kohen Gadol used to go and bless the entire nations. Not just the Jewish people, everybody, all the 70 nations. That was his job. If he would think about himself for a second, he will die on the spot. So people asking questions, so why now when people go there, they not die? If the Kohen, which is such a holy person, will die, how? Because the place has not been activated. It might be a physical place, but it has to be activated spiritually. That pipe above that, that's called the pipe that brings the light from above, from the endless, all the way to here. It looks like a needle going from above to below. That is blocked. So there is no light there. Yet there is a memory of the vessel that used to be there. And that's why a lot of Jewish people go to that place and cry for the memory, because they're supposed to cry for the memory that the vessel that used to draw such an amount of light. But of course, today a lot of people are busy with the cry, with the tears. They're not busy with the desire. The reason we cry is the awakening, the ishtokekut, the last, the desire for the light to come back there. And when the light come back, there will be peace in the world, there will be no more chaos and all this and that. So for that reason, doesn't matter what religion you belong to, you have to pray that the Jewish people eventually will go back and build a temple, because it will be good for all the nation. 7.2 billion people will be happy once the Kohen do his job. It's not only the Jewish people. So we have to pray that that will happen. But why Aaron? Why Aaron was chosen to be the first Kohen? Because his path, his behavior was all about one thing: peace. How to bring peace between people, how to bring peace between husband and wife, how to bring peace between partners, how to bring peace. The story about Aaron, that if there is a wife and husband who fight with each other, he will twist the story. He will go to the husband and say, your wife told me she loves you, but she has a difficult time to say it. And he go to the husband, he go to the wife, and he tell them the same story. And then they come into the middle and they make peace between them. That's the beauty about making union between people. Not like today that everybody create fight between the other people to these people. So that's why he become a Kohen, a priest, a real priest. Because God wanted to bring peace among the angels above. Because also in the angel they disagree about a lot of things. Some say create human, some say don't create human. Through his work, he brings union into everything. And that's the hardest work in spirituality, to bring peace between people, to bring peace within your family, to bring peace between your children, to bring peace between you and your wife, between you and your husband, between you and your business, between you and your cars, between you and your house, even your house. When you walk into the house in the morning or in the evening, say, hello house, thank you for hosting me. Don't take your house for granted just because you live there. So you say, Rabbi Yehuda פתח, מה רב טובך שצפת ליראיך? מה רב טובך? כמה הוא עליון ויקר אור העליון שנקרא טוב? We know that the light that God created, called Tov, T-O-V, meaning good, or goodness. שכתוב, וירא אלוקים את האור כי טוב, as it's written in Genesis, that God saw the light, and he said, that's a good light. וזהו אור הגנוז. Which light we talking about? אור הגנוז, the hidden light. שבו עושה הקדוש ברוך הוא טוב בעולם. Through the hidden light, God is creating a lot of goodness in the world. ואין מונע אותו בכל יום, ובו מתקיים העולם. And God not preventing this light to flow, and through that the world will be exist. ואומר עליו, אשר צפנת ליראיך, you hide it to the one who fear you. You hide it to the one who respect you. Why do we need to fear God? Why do we need to respect? I mean, people ask me, I just say, I'm into only loving God. You can't truly love God until you have fear and awe and respect. If you love God, it's almost like say, I love ice cream. You know, when you go in to buy ice cream, are you dressing the best expensive suit before you buy ice cream? No, because it's ice cream. So love can be a cheap word if it didn't go to the filter of fear and respect. So before you meet God, respect, have some fear, have some change your attitude, then you can love. But if you just love, I love fish, let me kill it. Love is dangerous because you can love bad thing and you can love good thing. So for that reason, that light is only hidden to the one who has יראה, fear and awe. כי למדנו, אור עליון עשה הקדוש ברוך הוא שברא העולם. God created that light already, that specific light. But this light is hidden. So what light we are connecting to when we connecting? We connect to some memory of light. But if you want to connect to the real light, ask yourself, do you have fear and respect of God? Or you just love God? You're already there. I'm loving God. Wrong. When you sit right now at the table to eat, to drink, to work, to study, and there is a chair next to you, do you see God sitting there? That's the level of yirah a human being need to have, and then the light start to reveal. They say the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, the holy Baal Shem Tov, his student said, we want to feel the level of yirah you have, the level of fear and awe you have. And he said, it's dangerous. He said, please. He said, put your hand on my heart. And at that moment, some of them almost die from that feeling of fear because they felt something. So there is two types of light. One light is Or Ganuz, the hidden light. Tell us Rav Ashtai. It's hidden to the righteous people for the future, but it doesn't shine in this physical world. Second light, Or Nikra Tov. Second light is called Tov, T-O-V. Tov means good. That is drawing from the Or Ganuz. That we're drawing it from that hidden light that belongs to the righteous only. And that's how we exist. So the way we enjoy the light of the Creator is by drawing the light called Tov. כי בזמן שנברא העולם, היה האור הזה עומד ומאיר בראש העולם, בצוף העולם. Because that original light was shining from the beginning of the world to the end of the world. כשנסתכל הקדוש ברוך הוא באלו רשעים, when God, or Kusha Baruch, saw the wicked people, and we should not take it literally, what do you mean wicked people? God is kind of taking a microscope and looking at the wicked people. He saw that they are here. גנז אותו, he hid that light. Now you might ask, why? I mean, why is that gam? Is God afraid of the Reshaim, of the wicked people? Well, why is he hiding that light? What's the purpose of it? Why the person? But that light will be shine to the next chapter of life, because the person is not here to stay. We are here a visitor. But the next chapter, the light will be available for righteous people only. Who are righteous? People who justify that whatever happened to them is the best thing that can ever happen to them. But what with the wicked people? Why? The point is like this, what is a wicked person? Person who's he or she busy with themselves. Now, if you're busy with yourself, and I'm giving you more, I'm bury you. So what do I need to do? I need to prevent you. Prevent you. Why prevent you? Because if I'm preventing you from getting more light, I'm preventing you from destroying yourself. It's almost like somebody has itchy part of his skin, like a mosquito. And it's got itching it and itching it. And then he said to me, Eliyahu, can I have a knife, please? I really have to itch it really strong. And I'm giving it to him. I'm actually destroying him until he will kill himself. Same thing with the wicked people. It's not that God doesn't give them light from a point of judgment. God doesn't give the light. That's the merciful side of God, so they will not destroy themselves. That's the beauty. I hope you understand that. It's a very big secret here. Anyway, so it's let's talk about it now. Come and behold, when a person is about to die, he's sitting in the house of his sickness, 3 messengers come to him, and he see whatever he see, and these days called the day of judgment. I'm in verse 5. Why do you call it the day of the judgment? Because at that day, God is asking for his collateral. He's asking for what he gave you back, gave it to you, which is the soul. The collateral is your soul. And how did you deal with your soul? Are you busy coveting everything you don't have? Or are you busy being with gratitude for everything you have? I'm not saying having no desire is good, and I'm not saying not appreciating or too much appreciation is good. You gotta find what you call the center column. Appreciate and desire at the same time. So that day is called the day of judgment. God is asking his collateral, which is the soul. And God is telling him, did you give it back to me the way I gave it back to you? At least fair between two friends. You borrow a car. I gave it to you. You're supposed to give it to me clean and nice with gas, like you rent the car. Same thing. The soul is rental. The soul is rental. The soul is not yours. So he raised his eyes as he died, and he see the angel of death. And the angel has the sword. I'm sure you know the whole story about the angel of death. He has a sword. He has eyes on the sword. Kisamara. And he's busy to destroy the body. There's nothing more painful, the separation of the soul from the body. And the person is not dead until he sees the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is basically the all manifestation of the light of the Creator in this world. We're not supposed to see it or connect to it because the Holy Temple is not here yet. Until the Jewish people do not build the Holy Temple, every time you see the Shekhinah, it's the day of death. But if the temple will be built, you can see the Shekhinah. You can even dance with the Shekhinah, which is the all female aspect of God and the manifestation aspect of God. So the nefesh has to leave the body after you see the Shekhinah. And we know which soul can claim that you can dance with the Shekhinah in this generation. So what happened? After the soul leaves the body stay empty. We're not allowed to leave the body empty. You're not allowed to leave the body empty. You have to bury the body. You have to bury the body. Because a person will stay dead for more than 24 hours, it's not so good for the soul. Why? Because within the body enter all kind of forces. And also, a second reason, what if God wants to make sure that that soul will be reincarnated? Without burial, there's no chance for reincarnation. That's some people who do cremation or other kind of thing. I understand it's modern to put it in those cement thing, whatever you call it. I don't even want to know the name. Bury. Why bury? Because body belongs to the dirt. Soul belongs to heaven. Very simple. Everything has to go back to where it came from. The body came from the earth. Why do we call it Adam? How do you say earth in Hebrew? Adama. How do you say human in Hebrew? Adam. Same roots. Bring it back to the roots. Why are you stealing? You're stealing from the land and bury it somewhere else? Or burn it? What kind of behavior is that? You're a thief. Bring back to the ground what you took. In the same day that he died, we have to make sure we bury him. The soul cannot come in front of God and cannot be reincarnated right away if you don't do the burial correctly. And you cannot give another body. So why delay this? Yeah. And I'm continuing verse 8. Another reason, when the soul wants to separate from the body and go to the upper world, she cannot go to the upper world and receive a new body. You know how the new body look like? With light. With light. That's how the new body look like. With light. That's the only way she can enter, after the burial. After the burial. That's how important the burial is. Yeah. At the point, I mentioned yirah. I mentioned the fear. So I need to explain it a little bit better. So, what is yirah? We know we are in the Omer time. What is the Omer time? Passover is the time that God took the Jewish people out of slavery from Egypt. What does that mean? Took the Jewish people out of Egypt? They were not Jewish yet. They were Hebrew slaves. It turned them from the slave for Egyptian, slave for materialism, into slave toward God. So what's the choices we have in our life? Slave. You're always going to be slave. Can you get out of being slave? Yes, by saying I don't want anything, but you can't. Because if you say I don't want food or water or pride or all this, you're going to die. So you need to have desire. And the desire is important. But if you are slave to your desire, you went back to Egypt. If you are slave toward the Creator, there is endless opportunity how far you can go. The way to start is called Yir'ah. So on Passover, you receive a gift. On Shavuot is when the Jewish people stood on Mount Sinai and received the Torah with Moses. Between those 2 days, there is 50 days. In those 50 days, we're counting. Why we're counting? As a preparation every day to think about what we gotta do, how we gotta get better, so we can have the right cup, the right vessel to receive the light of the Creator during Shavuot. This is very, very important understanding, and I hope everybody understands. So I'm reading from Sfat Emet now about this time called the Omer. Bamidrash, Yirat Hashem Torah omedet la'ad. The Midrash say, the Yir'ah, the fear of God, and the respect of God is very important. Very important. Why? Mora shel Aaron zachal ledorot. If you look at Aaron, going back to Aaron, always fear. Always has fear. Always has yirah. Because of him, Kohanim only come from Aaron. Only Aaron can give birth to Kohanim. Nobody else can do it. Not even Moses. Moses was a Levi. Aaron was a Levi too. But God took Aaron and said, from your family, you know why? You have yirah. You have that awe when you walk into a place. Remember when the kids go to toy store for the first time? It's unbelievable. Wow, exciting. You have an awe for what you see. Sometimes you see a rich kid that they bring all the toys to us, to the house. He never went to a toy store. Beautiful. And nothing wrong by being rich if you can have yirah. Then you see the kids disrespect the, what do you call it, macaroni. Cheese and macaroni, I think it's called. Macaroni and cheese. And you see the poor kids look at macaroni and cheese like he found the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. What's the difference? Yirah. Yirah is the same letter as lirot, to see. מורה שמתיירא אהרון זכה לדורות. במדרש ויקרא, מביטים ידיך השם, שדורש על אהרון דיני יראת השם לחיים, יראת הרוממות. What is יראה? What is the יראה, the right יראה we're supposed to have? What is the right awe, the right respect, the right fear we're supposed to have? It's called רוממות. יראת הרוממות. Because there is יראת הפחד, there is an awe of fear, and there is an awe of respect. The awe of respect is the ultimate goal, what we need to have. So when you walk into a place of prayer, you have to feel that God is in the entrance waiting for you. So it's called רוממות, give you respect. וכהן עובד השם במקדש, חל עליו מורא שמיים, כמלאכי שרת. So when the Aaron HaKohen used to walk in the tabernacle or the temple, soon, בבירה בימינו אמן, he has an awe of רוממות, an awe of respect before he's walking in, and like an angel called the sharet, מלאכי השרת, that's when he walk in a temple. דאיתא אין מידותיו של הקדוש ברוך הוא כבשר בדם, מורה על הקרובים יותר, כדרגת הסביבה נשארה מאוד. בעיקר היראה במלכות שהמצווה היה בבית המקדש. Where is the יראה come from? How do you get more יראה? How do you get more fear and awe and respect toward God? How do you get it? It used to get it from the Holy Temple. That's the Holy Temple, is to generate enough yirah for everybody. Because all what this generation missing is yirah, a respect. You know, a person get angry, break a window of the store of his friend. Why? Because I'm angry. He has no respect for the value, not of the store, not of his friend, of that glass that was made by a factory, that was made by someone. You know, somebody took some time to make it. Have some respect for that. Everything has to be respected. The towels you're holding, the tissue paper you're holding, you have to have respect. When you do it with everything, you're a happy person. Because everything is, wow, Wow, my car is going. That's called yira'ah. But of course, that's on a superficial level. You gotta be taking it into spirituality as well. וכל כך על אהרון. וקדם לו מורה ויראני, ונאמר זוהר הקדוש יצא, אין זוהר הקדוש יתרו, איתה, כי עיקר השלמות היא ליראה השם. The real completion, said Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the real idea of making it in life is יראה. How much all respect and fear you have toward the Creator. אין מחסור ליראיו. It say in the blessing after the food, God will never miss a penny in your pocket if you have yirah. You never have to worry about money if you have yirah. ממשמע, דאין מחסור שלום, עיקרי עד שם. So that means there is no lack of peace. So why we see a war between Ukraine and Russia? Two crazy boys that didn't play enough with toys start throwing bomb on each other like it's nothing. People are dying. Doesn't matter who's right. I don't want to know who's right. I know people are dying. You are right. You are right. We can talk about it later. We can go to the room. I don't know, play some backgammon, tennis, golf, sheshbesh, or chess, and fight. But you cannot fight when there is a life of people involved. You can't do that. It doesn't matter if you feel you're right. It doesn't matter. For the right, you can't kill people. You can have an argument. You can scream. You can yell. You cannot touch the body for not human being because it's not your body. It's not your body. God created that body. God created that soul. Nobody has the right to hurt another human being. Can't do that. Can't do that. You want to fight? It's normal. You're a human being mixed with animal. We all have animal kingdom within us, angelic human within us. So sometimes we're explosive and we get angry. But raising the hand on another human being, who gives you the right to touch the property that not belong to you? You don't have yirah. That's what you think. You can raise your hand. You can shoot with a gun. You can throw a missile. If you have to protect yourself, that's a different story. You have to. The Torah is telling you have to protect yourself. You know, what can you do? You're in a situation that people come to kill you. You're allowed to prevent that killing from happening, and sometimes it's by killing them. But that's not a political campaign. This has to do with respect to the human body. So it's Aaron was always looking for pieces. That's all. Say here the Sfat Emet bring it to. Ki shalom shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why shalom is such an important thing? Why peace is such an important thing? Because when we say Shabbat Shalom, why you say Shabbat Shalom? Peaceful Shabbat. Shalom is one of the name of God. Those of you who study Hindu, in Hindu there is the word Om, but without Shal. So they only have the Vav and Mem. Om is supposed to be Shalom. So the Shin and Lamed is missing. Shin represents fire. Lamed means elevation. I cannot go to all details. There's a lot of Kabbalah, deep stuff. So just the basic. לכן זכה לשלום. זה נקרא עיר הקודש ירושלים, על העירה והשלמות. Why do we call Jerusalem the holy city? Why do we call Jerusalem the holy city? Because Jerusalem is the holy city, because a yirah is there. The yirah is there. Always the yirah. The awe, the fear is always there. When you walk into the western wall, whatever left of the temple, you feel yirah. You feel something is going on within your heart. You cannot help yourself. You cannot help yourself. If you have a spiritual soul, you feel something. You feel something. וגם, שבת קודש לך ליראת השם, בני ישראל כדאי להפיד, שבת עליו לכם נקרא שלום. That's why שבת כל שלום, as I said before. וזה רמז המדרש, המתיב ידיך שיזכה אהרון לשלמות והחלמות בכוח שמו, דה העבודה שירת לפניו. כי לכך חלקו בחיים. ונפש לא יטמא. For that reason, all this parasha is talking about that Aaron will not make sure he stay pure. He stay pure. How do you stay pure? By having yirah. You're going to pray. Wait. Am I have respect and fear toward God? I do. Good. That's how you know you're doing it correctly. So I'm just skipping that part. And it say, we counting the Omer, 7 שבתות ביום תהיינה. כי עניין שלמען כל דבר אשר יעבור באש, תעבירו באש. כן במים, בכל מידות. מידתו של אהרון היא שורש הטהרה ועיקרה. לכן עיקר הטהרה היא במידה זו. So, the purification happening during the Omer. When we counting the Omer, we're coming with the Yirah, hopefully everybody counting, and meditate that I will have within me more fear, more awe, more respect. ובל"ג בעומר, in the 33 days of the Omer, which is in the death anniversary of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, ושאר התרה נגמרה ממילא. So the purification end up exactly at that time. Why exactly at that time? It's Od Shebeod. We will give lecture all night with the help of God. Hopefully I will feel well. And we'll be able to run this lecture from here in New York City. We also print a new Idrazuta with English and with Hebrew. Everybody should get it. Translated by the holy, wonderful woman by the name of Michal Ricardo, who helped me put it together. Without that, it wouldn't happen. Okay, just to let you know. So just to let you know, whoever required that, I think it's for sale or it's digital, it can come to you and you should read it. It's the first Idrazuta in English and Hebrew. וכל טהרת העומר, היא גם כן על יהודה הכהן שהניף העומר. The whole Omer is through the Kohen. What is the Kohen doing? He let the wheat or the barley fly, which is or choser, returning like what I'm going to go into it in a second. ושמעתי מפי מורי כי בל"ג בעומר יכולים לזכות ליראת השם. If you want to get יראה, stay awake in ל"ג בעומר and study. Don't stay awake and eat some muffin cake, cookie and coffee, cappuccino. You know, vente or latte or whatever. No. Study. And hopefully, make sure you reach Debbie so you'll be on that link that hopefully I will be able to teach all night till the morning a lot of secret of Kabbalah. Now I want to move into another section. So here it's a למה אין זין ימים בשבועות? פרשת אמור, okay, in קוף ב' in 142. It's a why there is only one day in Shavuot. I mean, Pesach is 7 days, Sukkot is 7 days, Shavuot, 1 day. If you're in Israel, if you're outside of Israel, you keep 2 days. על כן יום הזה של שבועות, שהוא קו אמצעי. שבועות is center column, and it is for זעיר אנפין, שנקרא ישראל. Who is זעיר אנפין? The Israelite. What is the Jewish people doing in this world? I mean, most people don't want to talk about it. It's nervous. Oh, don't say Jewish, don't say this word. Why not? You need to know what the Zohar said. Don't you want to understand what it means? Because the Jewish represent Zeir Anpin. What is Zeir Anpin does? Chasadim. You cannot receive only for yourself. Being spiritual is not how many hours you meditate. You meditate 1 hour. Who is there? Who do you share it with? Just yourself? You're not spiritual. You just do an act of spirituality, but you're not spiritual. It's an act of spirituality. It's like me wearing yarmulke, but it doesn't mean that I feel that there is always somebody above me. So the act itself is beautiful. But if the meaning is missing, it is not beautiful. Very simple. So Shavuot is center column. הוא קשר של האמונה, קשר הכל, כתוב עץ חיים למחזיקים בה. שהעץ חיים הוא זעיר אנפין, אילן, שהוא נקרא אחד. So זעיר אנפין is one tree. על כן משום שישראל שבת המתקשרים מחזיקים במקום הזה, because the Israelite below on Shavuot also stay awake all night and study Torah with excitement and with love and with fear and with awe together. And they're holding that tree that's called tree of life. What is the tree of life? זעיר אנפין. What is זעיר אנפין? Only chasadim. Chasadim, those of you who don't know, chasadim means sharing, kindness. Chokhmah means light of wisdom, meaning strong light, but include gvurot, include receiving. Our purpose in this life is to draw light only if it's included within it a purpose to give. If I only draw light without a purpose to give, that says same light I'm drawing will go against me. על כן נקראים אחד, כי עץ חיים אחד הוא נקרא ודאי. And that's why we call it one and one day of Shavuot, because it's only one tree of life. פשוט שהכל נקשר בו. Everything is connected to that tree. ביום שלו, the day that designate that tree of life is the holy day of Shavuot. אחד אבל שהוא קשר הכל ואמצע הכל, and it's the center column of everything. Like it's written in Genesis, and the tree of life is in the garden, because there Ampin, which is the tree of life, is in the garden. In also means in the middle between Pesach and Sukkot, and it includes all of it, right and column. So Passover is right column, Sukkot is left column. So what do you build in Passover? Your ability to give, the ability to be generous. Generosity is spirituality. What do you build in Sukkot? Well, you sleep in the street. Last year I slept behind the dry cleaning. Not comfortable. But then you build the left column energy. How much you really want it. So you humiliate yourself. You lower your level of fulfillment so you can want more, because that's how you build the left column energy. And Shavuot is in the center column. And this is the center column because that's the Torah. What happened in Shavuot? The giving of the Torah. Giving of the Torah. Giving of the Torah. The 5 books of Moses. Within the 5 books of Moses, there is all the secret that's coming after. If you don't follow the 5 books of Moses, you're not going to get anything. ושבח על האמונה שהיא מלכות כאשר כל דאגה של הגר, כי כל הנקשרים בקו האמצעי, אבל ברוך מה שזה זה דברים. So what is the point Rav Ashlag saying here? Rav Ashlag say, because the Torah is Erad. The Torah is only Chasadim. That's why a real Torah starts with Vav in each page. Vav is the 3rd letter of the Yud Kavavke, which is Erad. שהוא קו האמצעי. ושבח אל האמונה, bring glory and kindness to the emunah. Emunah means belief or certainty or trust or faith. But emunah also means malchut. The Sfira malchut, the receiver force. And that's how you, and what is the malchut can receive? The malchut can only draw the light from above, which is Gimel Rishonot, which is Keter Chochmah Bina. Strong desire bring the highest light. And all this unite together on Shavuot. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, say Rabbi Yehuda, thank God that I asked this question, and thank God I got the answer. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, say Rabbi Yitzchak to him, Simcha, happiness, shira, song, singing, Atidim Yisrael Shabbat. Future will be with the Israelite. The Israelite can refer either to Jewish people or either to spiritual people who practice Judaism in their own way. Singing to God the same glory and song that you sing on the night of Passover, the night of the Seder. Why? Because at that night of the Seder, we know that the light revealed at that night was supposed to reveal the date. That's why it's written in the Haggadah. Those of you who read the Haggadah, the rabbis didn't know if it was a daytime or nighttime. Okay? So that light, that light was revealed then, was Itaruta de Leela. It was an awakening from above. It came from God. We had nothing to do with it. On Shavuot, because we count the Omer for 50 days, we build down the vessel, because vessel is number 7. 7 times 7 is a 50 days, it's a 49 plus 1. And we have now the cup that can receive the light of Shavuot, which is the original light in Passover. Thank God that we are capable today to reveal to you those secrets. Make sure, don't be shy, to share this video with everybody that you know. Make sure that you share it at least with 10 people, and every time you share it, you say Keter, share, Chochmah, share, Netzach, share, Malchut, share, 10 times. Thank you, and have a beautiful day, and all the best.